Hello, our Farming Exchange videos, and this is Nightmare House 2020, the Experiments Haunt Build. What are you doing, kitty? What are you doing? Okay. Haunt Build Day 15. Today is October 28th. Halloween is 3 days away. So, a lot's going to be done today. I'm excited, but first I forgot to show you guys this last night. I couldn't add the thing that I wanted to Rusty because it was just way too big and too heavy. So I added these instead. PVC pipes that kind of look like tubes, or I don't know what you'd call it, but how in the world? He always opens doors, but I thought he couldn't open that one, but looks like he can. This is supposed to look like this is kind of what powers him, what his steam comes out of. Just gives him some more detail, and I like it. But anyways, let's get into the builds. Alright, so first things first, I got some new wiring done up here, which is fantastic. I got a little socket light there, a little socket outlet, and that connects to that, so that's a lot better. Lights it up a lot better now. It doesn't have a big wire hanging in the way now, which is cool. Also, new electrical stuff was figured out right here. Well, first we got cryo chamber hooked up a different way, so it's not cutting across there. This wire, this cord was brought around here. It's put in the groove here, so I actually have an outlet right here to go to that behind the high voltage cage. Then you have this. It connects over here, and it connects to that, which cryo chamber connects to, and then it connects to here, which has a power strip, which is going to connect to here, which has another power strip. So this whole containment unit is going to be supplied by this one cord, which is really awesome, and I'm happy about that big time. But right now, I might want to unplug it before cryo chamber goes off again. There we go, perfect. But yeah, that's the deal with that. But let me show you. Look, walls are up. The exterior walls, I mean, because obviously the interior walls are already up. But obviously, like I said, not many walls need to be done on the exterior this year, since most of the haunt's interior. And I didn't use any tarp for the interior this year because I've moved away from tarp in my haunting career, and I'm moving on to designing my own walls, like this year, with the carving and the steampunk part and the metallic and the sci-fi part. So I like them a lot better, and a lot of you have told me that they look better too. So many people have said that they're so much better than tarp. To have actual on theme, detailed looking walls, especially in the steampunk part. That's my personal favorite, and a lot of people have said that's their personal favorite too. So, but these ones are still good too. Of course, this is much better than just black tarp because these are actually detailed. They actually look like what the scene is supposed to be. So that's cool. But of course, the exterior still has to use black tarp, which I don't think that's a big deal because it just blends in with the night sky when it's dark anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But this is obviously here because this is where the UFO crash site scene is going to go. Now, this part doesn't need to be blocked off because the UFO is going right there, so that doesn't even need to be blocked off. Just that needs to be blocked off to block off the yard. So this is done for walls. Let me head on over here. Look at this is the whole back area. Wow, I've never had this much space in a back area for a haunt in many years, because usually the haunt is completely outdoors with only like a small indoor part. Especially last year, since last year was a farm theme. Pretty much the whole haunt was outdoors other than the sawmill and the barn, which the sawmill was there and it was just one room, and the barn was in the garage and it was just one room. But obviously, since the theme is a laboratory this year, the majority is inside, with the containment unit and the steampunk part all being completely indoors and just having a bunch of corridors within them. So this is a lot of open space, which is a good storage space, and it's the reason that we're able to cut the power supply and have it branch off from right in here. This is our central power supply area now, which is cool. Sorry for filming at night. I've tried to branch away from filming mostly at night this year. If you notice, in obviously other years, I only filmed at night because I just filmed what we had done for the day at the end of the day. But this year I'm trying to film stuff as it's done throughout the day, so I've been trying to not film at night as much as possible, but sometimes I just forget to film, or I get too caught up in work to film during the day, so that didn't happen today. But let's see. I'll show you here. We got, obviously, the this wall, because this is the whole area. I don't even think there's going to be anything here. This is just a long, dark path here. There's not even really anything going here. This is just the pathway leading up to the laboratory's greenhouse, which obviously I've explained that, though I haven't really done much with that scene, so I never really said too much about it. Basically, it's the scene where man-eating plants are being made in the lab, because how can you do a laboratory theme without some man-eating plants, especially since I love them so much. So this is just the path leading up to that. I think all I'm going to have here is a directional sign leading up to it and a green light, because honestly, to have a room where there's like nothing going on in a haunt is honestly one of the creepiest things you can do, because people don't know if someone's going to jump out or what's going to happen. So I always like that. But yeah, this whole area leading up to the greenhouse lab, and then these plants are not even going to be trimmed because they are perfect to go into the greenhouse lab. Now ignore this. This is going to be cut, but voila. The roof of the greenhouse lab, or the lab greenhouse, or whatever you want to call it. So originally I was going to make a full structure for this, but it's actually a lot easier and cheaper to just connect wooden beams to the house and just put the clear see-through plastic on here. This is going to look super cool once the lighting's in here, and once all the man-eating plants are going to be in here. I'm going to start putting those in tomorrow. And the lighting, I'm either going to have in the scene a green light, or I'm going to shine it from above. So obviously, to make this still seem like a part of the lab, I'm still going to have diagrams in here. So I'm probably going to move the man-eating plant diagram to right here. So, and then there's going to be metallic tables with the man-eating plants and maybe some potions next to them for how they were created in the lab. So I really, really like this. This is much better than how this area was utilized last year. This area last year was one of my least favorite parts of last year's haunt. I loved last year's haunt as a whole because I love farm themes, and I think I did a farm theme really well last year. But this whole hallway here was probably one of my least favorite parts, because this area last year was the pumpkin patch on the farm, and it was pretty desolate. There were only a couple props, and you could clearly see the house because you could see the roof too. Like here, remember the lights are going to be off, so you won't even really be able to see the wall of the house, but you could clearly see the house, the fence, and everything last year. So it wasn't a very detailed scene last year, though the rest of the haunt was heavily detailed. This scene lacked it last year, whereas this year I think it definitely is a lot better. Really excited for this one, and I'm glad that I was able to incorporate man-eating plants into this year's haunt, because I love man-eating plants. And ever since I decided I was doing a lab theme this year, I thought, well, what I'm going to need for a lab theme is definitely some man-eating plants, because the whole idea of man-eating plants came from sci-fi. Little Shop of Horrors, if you did not know, Audrey 2, the man-eating plant, is actually an alien, so man-eating plants are sci-fi monsters. So I think they work in a laboratory perfectly, especially since in real-life laboratories, experiments are done on plants quite often. I think it works, and I really like being able to do a room dedicated to man-eating plants. And a laboratory just seemed so fitting to do it. So, of course, when I did multiple themed haunts, I did have a man-eating plant room one year, but though I did like my old haunts, and I loved them back at the time, I only consider, like, last year and this year to be the only true haunts. I mean, the other ones were definitely haunts. Let me rephrase that. I loved the old haunts. I did. I loved my old haunts. I thought they were great. But ever since last year, I think the haunts have just taken it to a whole new level. And what I'm glad I'm doing is doing a man-eating plant room as a part of how I do my haunts now, with only one theme. Because I feel like one-themed haunts are just better, in my opinion. And I'm glad to be doing a theme that can incorporate man-eating plants. Now, before I end this build video, so a lot of stuff was done today, and I'm happy about that. Don't have to worry about these walls anymore. Don't have to worry about the greenhouse lab roof anymore. A lot was done. Before I end this video, let me show you the lighting that I put in the electrical room earlier today at night, which I'm gonna probably adjust it a bit because the strobe is cool. I love the strobe, but it doesn't really it's not flashing on electrified corpse, which is what I wanted it to be flashing on. So I'm probably going to move it to the other side of the hallway. But here it is, and I'm going to show him at night, and yeah, so the strobe's there. I do think the strobe is great, of course, but I definitely think I'm going to move it to the other side of the hallway to flash on him. Let's get him to go. I think he'd be a good thumbnail. So yeah, I like the strobe, and I also like how the strobe does shine a bit in this room. So like when you turn around behind you, you see the strobe a little bit, and I think that's kind of creepy. So I do like that. Once I get the final walls up in this room, because obviously this is the only part of the haunt that I still need to put up a wall. Once I put that wall at the end of this room, I think the strobes will be a lot easier to tell how much they shine on, and that'll be good. So hopefully that can get done tomorrow. So on to our favorite part of the haunt builds. After I unplug this guy, on to our favorite part of the haunt builds. Talking about my plans for tomorrow, just so you guys know ahead of time. So today was October 28th, obviously. Tomorrow is October 29th, the day before Halloween, so Halloween Eve. Yeah, this haunt is definitely gonna take off tomorrow. I mean, it's already, I'd say, about 80% completed. I also got, my mom got some more diagrams done inside, so I'll show those in just a moment. But yeah, this haunt is about 80% completed now. It's exciting, but there's still more work to do, of course. Tomorrow, what I plan to do is finish this. This is taking a stretch here. This is a bit. Well, this is a bold statement, I should say. I plan to finish the entire containment unit tomorrow. So I have all the props in it, have all the electrical figured out. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll have the fog in tomorrow because I might just wait until the 30th to get the fog and sound in. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow. If I have time, then I'll do that, but I don't know if I will. But I hope to do that. Hope to get the lab greenhouse almost completed, other than the big plant, because he can't be put out yet because it's going to rain tomorrow night for the cool front to come through. Yeah, there is a cool front coming through on Halloween Eve and Halloween, which is awesome because I don't even remember a cool front within the past 5 years on Halloween. It's been hot, so excited for this cool front. But with it comes rain the night before, so whatever, it's worth it for a cool front. So tomorrow, hope to get that lab greenhouse mostly completed, hope to get the containment unit completed, and finally get that steampunk room completed. Steampunk lab. It's bold statements that I'm going with, but we're almost done. We are almost done here with the containment unit. It may not look like it, but we are. Let me show you what I need to do with it still, just so you have a basic idea. Well, the insect room's done, other than maybe adding a couple cockroaches coming from one of the bins, but oh no, a piece of Area 31 capsule just came off. That's a living hell. Maybe adding a couple cockroaches coming out of the bins, but I don't know. Cold room's obviously been done, so that's good, other than putting fog in here, because some people suggested I put fog, and I thought, oh, that's actually a better idea. So that's what I'm going to do. So containment units, I mean, cold room's basically done. Insect room's done, other than another blacklight and, you know, maybe cockroaches, I don't know. Alien room's done, other than lighting. Electrical room's done, other than adding more lighting and then putting Eddie in his spot and putting those last walls up. And then the experimentation room is almost done, other than Mercy. Actually, no, so I'm not going to have the containment unit done tomorrow because I'm not putting Mercy here until the 30th because I don't want the rain to hit her when it comes through. But yeah, basically almost done. I mean, I also need to plug in most of the props still, but all of that is very easy, simple work that should be done fast. Also, fog machines and audio. The speaker for the scene, because I do have the audio made for the haunt, which I love my audio I did this year. I'll probably be sharing it on YouTube. Like, I'll be actually uploading videos of the audio on YouTube, because I always upload it to YouTube so I can actually stream it through Bluetooth on YouTube, because I have YouTube Red, so it just plays non-stop. That's what I use to stream my music. My audio that I make, I make all my audio. I use songs and sound effects that are already existing, but I mix them together into my own audio how I want them. I do that every year. Last year, all the country music and saw sounds and stuff like that you heard in last year's farm-themed haunt It was all not my music or my sound effects, but they were all mixed together by me. This year, obviously laboratory theme, I have a lot of gear spinning sounds, I have electricity, alarm sounds, along with some ambient sci-fi music, all mixed together by me, though I do not own any of the rights to the sounds or music. They're just mixed together by me, but those I will upload to YouTube. I usually just upload them privately, but this year I'm thinking on the 30th, so the day before Halloween, I'm thinking about uploading them publicly, just so you guys can listen to them if you want, so you can hear them, so you can, maybe after watching the Haunt video, you want to hear the whole soundtrack, because you'll only hear snippets of it in the Haunt video, of course, as I'm walking through with the camera. Yeah, the speaker for this scene is going to go right there. It's going to go on top of like a crate or something on top of that table, and it's going to be here. It's going to be a huge speaker that's very loud. It's going to have a bass, so it's going to be very loud. Steampunk room, going to have another speaker in there. Then I'm going to have another speaker by the crash site, and I might have a speaker by the greenhouse lab. It depends on if the audio from this room goes over to there and you can hear it from there. If you can, then I don't need it, but I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, that's about it for today's haunt build. I hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned for tomorrow, where a lot more progress will be made because it is Halloween Eve. It's a weird sentence to say, but I hope you all enjoyed. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves. So here's the diagrams my mom made today. So we have sewer varmint right here, ripped up and aged, and then Rusty. This is my favorite, probably my favorite diagram made so far. It's a cool one. So you got Rusty, you got his heart, all that, and then of course sewer varmint. These will be hung up tomorrow, along with the Nightcrawler one, because I didn't hang that one yet.
See you next time, friend.